Hey folks, it's Coco One Love urging you to prepare for movement. Yes, I see a lot of people coming in from whatever they're doing, their daily activities, coming into the gym and just going full blast into movement. Well, that's a perfect recipe for tweaks, for injury, and it's also a perfect recipe for just not doing good, not working at your full potential. So what do we need to do to prepare for movement? Well, your nutrition the day of and the day before, your hydration the day of, the day before, and your sleep. Now, sleep is very interesting. Let's say your workout is on Wednesday. Monday night's rest is affecting Wednesday. So those three things need to be considered, but those things we're going to talk about more in the future. What I want to address now is having a mobility strategy, because we need to reclaim full range of motion for the joints and also healthy tissue elasticity. Elasticity, but also extensibility. And so when we talk about that, when we're talking about tissue, we mean skin, fascia, muscle, nerve, and tendon. And basically all those work in a system to create movement. But due to whatever we're doing in our life, those tissues get tight, they get bound up, and we need to make sure that we have a mobility strategy that actually works replenishes and recovers those tissues back to healthy function and full range of motion. So I know we've talked about a good setup, good position, and how to move properly through movements. But what we need to think about is having a mobility strategy that actually allows us to function properly in those movements. Because I know a lot of you guys are trying to get into those movements and like, man, it just doesn't feel good. The movement doesn't feel good. I can't get into that position for some reason or another. And it's usually to do with that lack of range of motion. So when we're talking about mobility strategy, what do we need to really think about? Well, first off, we need to think about the activity that we're going to be involved in and what tissues that's going to affect, what tissues that's going to load. We also need to think about what our daily activities were prior to that activity, and we also need to think about what are some of our habitual positions and what are some of our habitual patterns and postures that we partake in on a daily basis. Because that's going to come back and affect us and haunt us. So most people, it's a seated position. And when we're in a seated position, what ends up happening is our hips are flexed. So these tissues get bound up and tight. Our knee is flexed. So these tissues get bound up and tight. We hunch over, our shoulders get tight, and of course that's going to affect our spine. The tissue around our spine is going to become tight. Now, a lot of you guys also have standing jobs, so that's going to affect you. Some of you have clothing issues. For example, you have a certain type of uniform, or you wear a certain type of backpack, for example. And some of you, the types of shoes that you're wearing. If you're wearing high heel shoes or if you're wearing high heel dress shoes, that's going to elevate your heel and that's going to affect all the tissue in your calf and Achilles muscles. So those issues all come into play. So we need to take that into consideration and we need to reverse all of that and reclaim full range of motion in each and every joint, healthy tissue extensibility, reclaim all of that, and make sure that we're functioning with full range of motion before we go in from whatever we're doing and try to express full body range of motion. And so in my next series, I'm going to talk about mobility strategy. I'm going to give you mobility techniques and show you how to actually go through different techniques to reclaim some of that tissue. Now I'm going to kind of target some hot spots, some go-to areas for most people, for the average person. But of course, in the future, well, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to personalize that information based on your daily activities and the activities you want to get involved in. Now, when we're talking about mobility, this is a all-the-time thing that you have to work on to reclaim full range of motion. It's not like, oh, I did it for 2 minutes and oh, that's good enough. No, this is something that you're going to have to constantly work on and take notice of, because the effects of your habitual activity has accumulated over years. So don't expect that a few minutes is going to kind of replenish and recover those tissues. No, it's going to be an all-the-time thing. It's going to be the day before your workout, you're going to work on those tissues. Before your workout, you're going to work on those tissues. If you feel like something's funky, you can do it in intra-workout, during your workout. And of course, post-workout, you're going to work on those just to kind of make sure that those tissues are functioning well for a healthy recovery process to start. So pay attention to that. Look out for these videos. We're going to have a whole series on mobility, and we're going to talk about soft tissue and mobilization. And also, what you need to think about is what your daily activities and habitual routines are. What positions are you in for most of the day? How can you correct those and take note of those so that you can put them into your mobility strategy? And also pay attention to your nutrition, pay attention to your hydration, and pay attention to your sleep. It's Coco One Love, doing nothing but good, and always sending out positive vibration. Do good, baby. Much love. Like us, love us, subscribe. Peace out, baby.